excuse me, the reason they're not loving me is I don't want their money. I'm going to do the right thing for the American public. I don't want their money. I don't need their money. And I'm the only one up here that can say that.
Well, at least I have a plan to fight ISIS.
No, you're telling the enemy everything you want to do.
No, we're not.
No wonder you've been fighting ISIS your entire adult life. You do have experience. I'd say the one thing you have over me is experience, but it's bad experience because what you've done has turned out badly.
And he's had the gall to go after
the World
my
Trade
mother.
Center came
he's
down
had
during
the gall
your
to go
brother's
after
reign.
my mother.
Remember that.
Hold on. Let me finish this.
In 2016, you voted to fire this corrupt and decrepit political establishment, and you elected an outsider as president to finally put America first. And we've learned over the last couple of months, Joe Biden is a corrupt politician. He's a corrupt politician. And the Biden family is a criminal enterprise. Frankly, it makes crooked Hillary Clinton look like an amateur. Obviously, the war in Iraq was a big, fat mistake, all right? Now, you can take it any way you want, and it took Jeb Bush, if you remember at the beginning of his announcement, when he announced for president, took him 5 days. He went back. It was a mistake. It wasn't a mistake. Took him 5 days before his people told him what to say. And he ultimately said it was a mistake. The war in Iraq, we spent $2 trillion, thousands of lives. We don't even have it. Iran is taking over Iraq with the second largest oil reserves in the world. Obviously, it was a mistake. So George Bush made a mistake. We can make mistakes, but that one was a beauty. We should have never been in Iraq. We have destabilized the Middle East.
But so you still think he should be impeached?
I think it's my turn, isn't it?
You do whatever you want. You call it whatever you want. I want to tell you, they lied.
Okay.
They said there were weapons of mass destruction. There were none, and they knew there were none. There were no weapons of mass destruction.
All right. Governor Bush.
ISIS is honoring President Obama. He is the founder of ISIS. He's the founder of ISIS, okay? He's the founder. He founded ISIS. And I would say the co-founder would be crooked Hillary Clinton.
President Trump made a totally unsubstantiated claim about Hunter Biden and his father. It's not unsubstantiated, you crooked son of a guns. It's 100% true. Autism has become an epidemic. 25 years ago, 35 years ago, you look at the statistics, not even close. I am totally in favor of vaccines, but I want smaller doses over a longer period of time. And you pump, I mean, it looks just like it's meant for a horse, not for a child. 2 years old, 2.5 years old, a child, a beautiful child, went to have the vaccine and came back, and a week later got a tremendous fever, got very, very sick, now is autistic.
Dr. Carson, you just heard his medical take.
He's an okay doctor.
If you look at Bill Clinton, far worse, minor words, and his was action. His was what he's done to women. There's never been anybody in the history of politics in this nation that's been so abusive to women. So you can say any way you want to say it, but Bill Clinton was abusive to women. Hillary Clinton attacked those same women and attacked them viciously. 4 of them here tonight. One of the women, who is a wonderful woman, at 12 years old, was raped at 12. Her client, she represented, got him off, and she's seen laughing on 2 separate occasions, laughing at the girl who was raped. Kathy Shelton, that young woman, is here with us tonight. So don't tell me about words. I apologize for those words. But it is things that people say. But what President Clinton did, he was impeached. He lost his license to practice law. He had to pay an $850,000 fine to one of the women, Paula Jones, who's also here tonight. And I will tell you that when Hillary brings up a point like that, and she talks about words that I said 11 years ago, I think it's disgraceful, and I think she should be ashamed of herself, if you want to know the truth. You've been doing this for 30 years. Why are you just thinking about these solutions right now? For 30 years you've been doing it, and now you're just starting to think of solutions.
Well, actually,
I will bring back jobs. You can't bring back jobs.
Well, actually, I have thought about this quite a bit.
Yeah, for 30 years.
I have.
Right now, today, as a candidate, he supports federal taxpayer funding for Planned Parenthood. I disagree with him on that. That's a matter of principle, and I'll tell you.
You are the single biggest liar. You probably are worse than Jeb Bush. You are the single biggest liar.
All right.
This guy lied. Let me just tell you, this guy lied about Ben Carson when he took votes away from Ben Carson in Iowa, and he just continues. And today, we had robocalls saying Donald Trump is not going to run in South Carolina, where I'm leading by a lot. I'm not going to run. Vote for Ted Cruz. This is the same thing he did to Ben Carson. This guy will say anything. Nasty guy. Now I know why he doesn't have one endorsement from any of his colleagues.
All right, John, I get to
Cruz,
respond.
pick from the buffet there.
He's a nasty guy.
So it is. It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in jail.
Secretary Clinton.
If you listen to him and you listen to some of the folks that I've been listening to, that's why we've been in the Middle East for 15 years and we haven't won anything. We've spent $5 trillion in the Middle East because of thinking like that. We've spent and Lindsey Graham, who backs him, who had 0 on his polls. So let me just tell you something. We've spent. I only tell the truth, lobbyists. We've spent $5 trillion all over the middle. We have to rebuild our country. We have to rebuild our infrastructure. You listen to that, you're going to be there for another 15 years.
All right, Governor Bush, please respond.
When somebody attacks me like Jeb at one of the debates, and I was very nice to him at the Ronald Reagan, I didn't say it, I didn't want to say it, but he talked about the tremendous safety. Well, excuse me, the World Trade Center came down during the, reign of George Bush, right? I mean, it came down. So during the Ronald Reagan, if you remember the library debate, he mentioned about how we were safe. We weren't safe. That was the greatest attack in the history of the United States, worse than Pearl Harbor because it was individuals. We were attacked as individuals as opposed to the military. The greatest single attack. So what he's saying, and I'm standing up there, I'm saying, do I want to embarrass him by saying this? But because I'm a nice person, I didn't do it. But then when he used it another time, I had to say, I'm sorry, but we weren't safe. The World Trade Center came down, which was the greatest attack in history on this country. So you had that. You obviously had the war, which was a big mistake. I mean, I think few people would say the war in Iraq was a positive. You had him on the aircraft carrier saying all sorts of wonderful things, how the war was essentially over. Guess what? Not over. And, the war with Iraq is a disaster. Now Iran is taking over Iraq, as sure as you're sitting there. They're taking the oil. They're taking everything. I said, take the oil. I was against the war in Iraq, by the way. I was the only one on the stage. Believe me, you should get some points for vision. But I was totally against the war in Iraq. I said it's going to destabilize the Middle East. And then when they went in, I said, when they're getting out, take the oil. They didn't take the oil. So now Iran is going to have the oil, and ISIS has the oil. And this has fueled ISIS, because ISIS now has so much money because they've had the oil.
When you talk about apology, I think the one that you should really be apologizing for, and the thing that you should be apologizing for, are the 33,000 emails that you deleted and that you acid washed. And then the 2 boxes of emails and other things last week that were taken from an office and are now missing.
And a lot of you are in the real estate business because I know you very well. You're brutal killers, not nice people at all, but you have to vote for them. You have no choice. You're brutal killers, not nice people at all, but you have to vote for them. You have no choice. You're not going to vote for Pocahontas, I can tell you that. You're not going to vote for the wealth tax. Yeah, let's take 100% of your wealth away. No. Even if you don't like me, some of you don't. Some of you I don't like at all, actually. And you're going to be my biggest supporters because you'll be out of business in about 15 minutes if they get it. So I don't have to spend a lot of time on that. any Jewish people that vote for a Democrat, I think it shows either a total lack of knowledge or great disloyalty. But those dismal days of betrayal, and that's what we were betrayed by our own politicians, whether it was on purpose or that they were just plain stupid. We'll come back with unprecedented force if Washington Democrats are allowed to take control again. We can't let it happen. You have got to get out and vote.
It amazes me when I read the things that I read. It amazes me when I read the Wall Street Journal, which is always so negative. It amazes me when I read the New York Times. Is not even, I barely read it. You know, we don't distribute it in the White House anymore, and the same thing with the Washington Post. Because, you see, I know the truth. And people out there in the world, they really don't know the truth. They don't know what it is. They never call me, ever, that I know of. But then you'll read this phony story in the Wall Street Journal, or the Washington Post is going wild lately. I don't know what happened to them. I guess something happened, like we don't call them back or whatever. America is far less safe, and the world is far less stable than when Obama made the decision to put Hillary Clinton in charge of America's foreign policy. In 2009, pre-Hillary, ISIS was not even on the map. Libya was stable. Egypt was peaceful. Iraq was seeing, and really a big reduction in violence. Iran was being choked by sanctions. Syria was somewhat under control. After 4 years of Hillary Clinton, what do we have? ISIS has spread across the region and the entire world. Libya is in ruins, and our ambassador and his staff were left helpless to die at the hands of savage killers. Egypt was turned over to the radical Muslim Brotherhood, forcing the military to retake control. Iraq is in chaos. Iran is on the path to nuclear weapons. Syria is engulfed in a civil war, and a refugee crisis now threatens the West. After 15 years of wars in the Middle East, after trillions of dollars spent and thousands of lives lost, the situation is worse than it has ever been before. This is the legacy of Hillary Clinton: death, destruction, terrorism, and weakness. But Hillary Clinton's legacy does not have to be America's legacy. President Obama's campaigning for Sleepy Joe Biden. And I said, that's good news or bad news? Tell me, are you saying it's good or it's bad? Well, I guess it's bad. No, it's good. There was nobody that campaigned harder for crooked Hillary Clinton than Obama, right? He was all over the place. He said he will not be our president. But before that, he said he will not run. He didn't know me. Then I ran. Then he said he will not get the nomination. Then I got the nomination. Then he said he will not be our president. Then I won. I think the only one. The reason I'm here is because of President Obama and Joe Biden. Because if they did a good job, I wouldn't be here. And probably if they did a good job, I wouldn't have even run. I would have been very happy. I enjoyed my previous life very much. But they did such a bad job that I stand before you as president. Thank you all very much. Thank you. Let me tell you, Putin has outsmarted her and Obama at every single step of the way, whether it's Syria, no, you name it, missiles. Take a look at the startup that they signed. The Russians have said, according to many reports, I can't believe they allowed us to do this. They create warheads and we can't. The Russians can't believe it. She has been outsmarted by Putin, and all you have to do is look at the Middle East. They've taken over. We've spent $6 trillion. They've taken over the Middle East. She has been outsmarted and outplayed worse than anybody I've ever seen in any government. CDC is advising the use of non-medical cloth face covering as an additional voluntary public health measure. So it's voluntary, you don't have to do it. They suggest it for a period of time, but this is voluntary. I don't think I'm going to be doing it.
Guys, I think the president already knows this stuff. You know, just look at the way he's so cavalier about COVID-19. Remember, the president wanted people to go back before Easter. He was pushing for the economy to go back. The president was the one that was talking about hydroxychloroquine and Zithromax. And then Dr. Fauci came in and tried to say, no, until there's any research done on it, you shouldn't use it. But hey, this vaccine that's never been tested even on animals, let's start using that.
A lot of good things have come out about the hydroxy. A lot of good things have come out. And you'd be surprised at how many people are taking it, especially the frontline workers, before you catch it. The frontline workers, many are taking it. I happen to be taking it. It's been around for 40 years for malaria, for lupus, for other things. I take it. Frontline workers take it. A lot of doctors take it. I take it. I got a letter from a doctor the other day from Westchester, New York, around the area. He didn't want anything. He just said, sir, I have hundreds of patients, and I give them hydroxychloroquine, I give them the Z-Pak, which is zithromycin, and I give them zinc. And out of the hundreds of patients, many hundreds, over 300 patients, I haven't lost one.
Are you going to use a drug that someone says from an anecdotal standpoint, not completely proven, but might have some effect?
The things that I know and the things that you don't know are that the last time we had a president that loved this country, I'm not a pro-Trump person, I'm not an anti-Trump person. I'm an open my eyes and think with my own brain person, all right? So whatever you want to label me, I don't care what you label me, but I'm just telling you from an observational standpoint, the last time we had a president that cared about his country like this was Ronald Reagan. And the time before that was John F. Kennedy. And both of those people, one was killed while serving his country, the other one's life was attempted to be taken out. Now I will tell you this, that this is not something that's public knowledge. I have not been told that I should not say this, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. If I get in trouble for it, I get in trouble for it. But the number of attempts on President Trump's life from the time that he got elected to the time he took office in January 20th, 2016, in that 2-month period, there were 25 attempts on his life. I did not know that. That was information that was recently shared with me. And anybody who is that much of a threat to the status quo, you know they're doing something right, all right? So whether you support Trump or you don't support Trump, remember, he's the president of the United States and he has earned that right for us to support him. If you want to attack him, guys, that's sad. That's sad because he's trying to fight for you. And if you support him, then that's fine. You know, and I would say the same thing no matter who the president was.
Come on, man, you make me look better, okay? There we go.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're Thank you. All right, well, nice to see you guys. Thank you. You jump in the middle, Angel. You come right on this side of Mommy. No, you come over here. That's it. Keep going. You're standing right next to me. There you go. And then we're going to have...
There you go.
God love you. You're a lucky man. Lucky man.
He's having fun. Thank you, sir.
No serious guys. You're 30 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
What a beautiful thing. That's something you should come here.
There we go.
You got it? Okay.
And the people in the back, you can spread out a little bit, like that gentleman spread out. I can hold the Bible. Okay. Hanging out.
Everybody else is looking forward to it.
I can tell you, my daughter, your granddaughters have one important job. Take care of the pop. That's the most important one.
Okay, and the gentleman with the baby, could you guys come over here to the front?
This is a long day. A lot of walking.
Okay.
That's right, everybody.
Okay.
Don't tell me what you're talking about. right, here we go. Molly, come over by me. Come on over here. Good to see you, Molly. How old are you, honey?
12.
Oh, beautiful smile, child. Okay.
Very nice.
Grandpa's one of the great guys.
That's nice of you to say.
No, I'm not saying. He knows I mean it.
Oh, that's,
I genuinely mean it.
that's good to hear.
You want to make sure.
Did you tell the vice president? There we go. Pictures. No, we've been told it's okay.
That'd be great. Thank you.
She's a lovely child. All right, we got up top there. Look up there.
Okay, out there. Okay, got some more family. Come on in. Yeah, we got a crowd. Sure.
Okay.
Someone go behind there.
The kids can stay right in the front. You want?
They're ready to take a picture.
Do you want? That'd be great. Thank you.
Okay, here we go. Your microphone's in the way, Jack. Move it. Is it in your way?
It's okay now.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
We're going to exit out this way.
I hope you enjoyed it
Thank
as
you.
much as I did. Beautiful granddaughters like you guys, and guess what? The granddaughters are even better than daughters. You know why? About age 12. This beautiful butterfly bed tucking in. And you're going to walk in the next time your dad will give you a snake. And I said, anything this time around you don't want to do? And my oldest was the Attorney General, Bo, who you know.
Hey, there, buddy.
Bo said, Dad, please don't introduce me. Don't make me stand in the chair anymore. And my second one said, Dad, I don't want to do any more parades. Can I have one with Jess alone? Very good.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Dad's going to stand pretty close. So.
She's a lovely child. By the way, if I were young and I had to choose parties.